Hail you Warhammer players and welcome to the your Warhammer 40k podcast coming from the inland northwest. With you, of course, always is your host Jeremy, all day 40k Nakano over on TikTok, and with me is
Joey, Beddingfield Painting over on Instagram.
the very good. Please check us out on socials if you would like to give us a try. All that said, is there anything going on outside of the fact that we have Tacoma coming up?
No, I think that's pretty much devouring all of my 40k life at the moment.
Fair enough. So, considering we do have Tacoma coming up, that is next weekend, not quite this weekend, but next, the weekend of the 18th, 19th, and 20th. It's an 8-round super major hosted by Games Workshop, where the rules are a bit loosey-goosey unless you're in the top 10 tables. It's fine. We've talked about them before. The way that the opens are a little bit looser. I'm excited for it because I think it's a very fun event. I'm staying at the event hotel. It's a little overpriced, but you know what? It's fun. I want to have a good time.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going.
That's it.
Let's see here. What about you? Did you get all your stay and all that established?
Yeah, I've got to stay in Airbnb with a couple of the guys from here.
Nice.
So I think they said it's like a 10-minute or so Uber drive over if we want to do that, so that we don't have to pay for parking at the center or anything.
Makes sense. How are the overall vibes of your team over there in Coeur d'Alene as far as getting the tournament and competing?
I think it's a pretty mixed bag at the moment. We've got not as many people going as I would have expected. There was a couple of people kind of like flaking out of it the last 2 weeks or so.
Bummer.
Yeah, that's okay though. So I'm going, and then we've got Aaron and DJ, who are the guys that I'm staying with, and then Dale is going, Paul is going, and I think Chansey is going, and I think that's it. And arguably Chansey's not really from our area. This is just where he plays.
Yeah. Chansey, good old Chansey. Always loved to get into games against somebody who plays their faction as much as I play mine. So,
yeah.
I think pretty much all of the hammers are coming.
Nice. Yeah, good.
Except for Brandon, who's just kind of getting back into the game and doesn't really travel for events. So
right. Yeah, because there'll be it's you, Wyatt,
Drew,
Dina,
and then some recent additions to the team. Badger's coming out.
Okay.
We'll also have Kieran. He'll be coming along too. And then I think that's most of us that are actually going. So the majority of the really active players are coming along.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be really exciting. Kirk I don't think is making it, sadly. But Bailey and Nick will be there, so that's great. And that's pretty much it.
Very cool.
Yeah, super stoked. Excellent. So in terms of hobby and stuff, what have you been up to, man? What you working on?
Oh man, I've been I've built 3 knights and I have them base coated, and now it's just putting a small acceptable amount of details on them so that I can play my games without ridicule. We'll be all right.
That's exciting. Oh, so you don't need to borrow my army?
No, I do. I need to borrow 2. I need to borrow your Abominant and your Despoiler.
Okay, no problem at all, man.
So,
okay.
How many not thermal cannons? How many Gatling cannons do you have? Just one?
None.
Okay, that's fine. I have them on sprue, so that just lets me know that I need to build Gatling cannons for the Despoiler.
Sweet. And everything's magnetized, so
beautiful.
Cool. All right. Well, what have I been working on? I have been building. Yeah. I built 6 Centurions in like a day and a half, which is a painful build. I will tell you that. And not the ones with the guns, though. These are the ones with the punchies.
Yeah.
I have fully painted 3 of them, and I have 3 that are base coated in my orange color.
Mm-hmm.
They take roughly 5 hours per model to actually paint from from base coat to finish. So I break it out into 3 separate sessions where I do all the base coating, and then I do all of like the other base colors. So all the colors in detail. That takes roughly 2 hours just to get all the bits. And then it's all bringing those colors up with little bits of highlights, and then edge highlighting. And I guess we can probably add another hour to each one because I still have to paint heads individually because
Sure.
I'm going to make them screamy helmetless boys because it's more fun.
It's not too bad though. So we're looking at like 18 hours over the course of the next almost 2 weeks.
Yeah. With 3 pretty much done, roughly 18 hours of work to get through it. Sam's been very understanding of giving me paint time because we won't really have an event for that I'll be actively playing at for a while, for pretty much the remainder of the summer. So well into the fall.
Yeah.
But
I do actually. I'm gonna need to borrow 3 of your Nurglings too, assuming those are painted.
Yep.
Cool. Just cutting down. 6. So I need to finish painting my Rampager and my second Abominant. One of them is done. So not too much. I did, I don't know, probably 90% of the trim on both of those models today. So
my buddy Jaden Owasa has been sending me pictures of his knights as he's been painting them, and my God. Nice. Just the chassis alone. I look at him, I'm like, dude, what are you? Wow. And then he painted one up and just like muraled out the shoulders and everything else. I'm just like, this is crazy. It is amazing to watch somebody that good at painting do stuff. Yeah. And he's got like anywhere between 10 and 20 games on the 6 Big Night list.
Okay.
And is doing great. Speaking of doing great, let's talk about what we consider are going to be the top 8 armies in attendance at Tacoma. Yeah. And I think the first 2 are really easy. So we both believe that Chaos Knights as well as Imperial Knights, I believe, are going to be pretty much ever present in the probably the 6-win bracket at least. Right?
Yeah.
Now, the reason that is because they offer a stat check that is ludicrously difficult to pass.
Mm-hmm.
They are T11, and they have, 26 wounds?
Yes. Depending on some of the Forge World, they're 26, and then the Forge World, like the Atropos and things, I think are 28.
Yeah, Atropos are running around with 28, and I believe, do they have the 4-up or do they have a 5-up?
Atropos have a 5. The Lancer has a 4.
Lancer is a 4. People aren't playing a ton of Lancers, which I don't know why. I feel like they should be, but I'm not a consistent Knight player, so it's hard to really lean into that. But
fair.
Atropos is a 5-up, especially with Imperial Knights in particular, because they have the Feel No Pain. Yep. You throw in a 5-up plus a 6-up Feel No Pain on 28 wounds.
It's so annoying.
The math is just absurd. So, and it allows people to play like kind of dumb Warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just like, I walk here, shoot, and then can you eliminate 78 wounds worth of stuff? Good luck. No, you can't. Okay, cool. Well, now I'm just gonna kill most of your army you revealed to do that with, and just stand here and just keep dominating with like way too much OC. Yeah, Knights are really good. And then the Chaos Knight matchup. So Chaos Knights aren't as good, in my opinion, in comparison to Imperial Knights. They offer a different strength. Imperial Knights really rely on their chassis. They really rely on their guns. They really rely on just that effective reroll 1 hit, reroll 1 wound, and their Feel No Pain. Like, that is just absurdly good rules, period. Because that's what people are playing, is that build, right?
Yep.
So what Chaos Knights rely on is the mortal wound jank that the Abominants offer.
Sure.
Everything in 9 on a 3-up takes D3 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
You run 3 dudes down the table, and half of your army is going to take 3d3 mortal wounds before the fight phase starts.
It's in the shooting phase, so it's before the shooting phase really starts.
So before the shooting phase starts. So like that alone is just crazy. And then of course they just have the stat check that comes with it. is can you deal with that? I mean, despoilers are great. Despoilers are just shoot
They
real
are.
good.
They shoot real good, real good.
Yep. It's just stand there, always be in cover, and very rarely suffer. Like, look, congratulations, Night players. You guys are going to be awesome for the foreseeable next couple of months during the most prevalent time of the year for tournaments. And you're going to make the meta sad. So congratulations. Enjoy your time in the sun while everybody just loads up on a pile of anti-tank.
Yep. Yep. And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. So Knights, we both believe, will be a top 10 army. Most, like, a bunch of players are going to play them really well, just because it's not the hardest thing to overcome. Okay, what about the army that's actually winning all the events, though? Which army is that?
Yeah. So if are we talking about Death Guard here?
I think we are. Yeah.
I think Death Guard are in a really interesting position. They're winning most of the events, and like Knights and Chaos Knights are winning a significant number of games, and they're doing phenomenally well. But you've got Death Guard coming out on top in the end of it, and I think a lot of that kind of just has to do with 6-inch deep strike charging is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, it's obnoxious,
especially when that's attached to bodies like Death Shroud, who when they charge a knight, if it's 6, I don't know how many people are running 6, but 6 Death Shroud that deep strike and make their 6-inch charge are gonna kill a big knight.
I know Tim from the Deep Strike gang runs 6, and he's one of the best Death Guard players in the United States. So
they're pretty great, because that's pretty much what you have to do. Like, if you can't pick up a big knight every turn, then you probably don't win. And Death Guard are uniquely capable of doing that.
Yeah, Death Guard can kill a big knight with almost like any one of its hammers. Like the 6 Death Shroud, no problem. 3 Death Shroud plus what's his name can do it.
Typhus, yep.
Typhus. And then the
3 Plague Burst Crawlers that all target the 1 can do it.
Yep. Or the stupid little the fetid blow drones. Like, they can lay down tons of 3 damage shots into something. Hell, their battle line will rip through a knight because of the lethal.
Yep. Because of the lethal. And I mean, they've got your whatever 10 dudes have, I think, 6 or 7 different melee profiles. Like, they're pretty wild.
Yeah.
They're very, very good. Let's not forget 2 grenades a turn.
Yeah. If you look at the numbers of what Death Guard is doing, this is their worst detachment is performed this weekend at a 48% win rate. Their worst detachment, which is insanity to think about. Like, if you look at any other faction in the game, their worst detachment is typically in the 30%, if not lower than that.
Yep.
Death Guard is really strong. Like, they received one of the strongest set of rules, along with data sheets that are too cheap and entirely too good. And you're just like, okay, well, what do you do? Like, Death Guard, sadly, are probably going to get a triple nerf when the data slate rolls around, and they're going to be back where they started, which is almost unplayable.
Which is, it is sad, because like I've said many times, I want everything to be good and playable, and I want people to be able to play the thing that they want to play. There's ways to nerf them without going overboard, and I don't expect that to actually happen properly.
No, because right now it's oppressive. Like, fighting them isn't fun. Like, when the person puts Death Guard across the table, it is a rough match. Like, you're just like, okay, you get +1 save, or I get -1 to hit, or like all you do is just make the game miserable. And that's very on theme with like Death Guard as like a faction, I guess.
Yeah, but I think like it's existed. They've existed in that space before, where parts of them are miserable to play against, and arguably they should be, but they didn't have everything that they could possibly want, and you could go, okay, I know I need to stay away from that thing over there, and I need to shoot that thing because I can't charge it, and you could strategize and play it. But now they have everything that they need, and also everything that they want, and then some more.
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that line of actual strategic gameplay doesn't exist.
Correct. The contagions are too good in their
Mhm.
present state for how good the army is, for how good the data sheets are, and for how good the detachments are. Like it is, they are a perfect storm of entirely too good, and I hope that they get nerfed in a reasonable way, but I don't
Mhm.
expect that they'll actually do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, well, let's talk about some other boogeymen that are starting to appear out of nowhere. Horde armies have returned.
Yeah, yeah.
Specifically the Gene Stealer cult. And so, why do you think horde armies are popular, Joey?
Um, knights are really, really good at killing a lot of things, unless one of those things is a lot of things,
Right.
and
That's correct.
they're not so good at killing those. So when you put 200 bodies on the table, it doesn't really matter. They just don't have. They're gonna kill a lot of stuff, but they don't have the output to deal with all of it.
Exactly. Like my buddy Isaac Terada, is a very good player. He runs like the 20 neophyte lists where it's
Mm-hmm.
like 5 packs of 20. I bet he's having a great time right now because with all the big knights, he's like, okay, come at the objective, enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're gonna kill 10 dudes. Okay. How many mining lasers am I gonna line up into you? So I'm actually interested to see how it goes. Um and that, I mean, it will go for any mobile horde army.
Mm-hmm.
You should probably have a good time in this meta because a lot of things are super elite right now. And a lot of those super elite things don't have guns that affect that volume of trash. So it'll be interesting to see if we get some Gaunt spam.
Yeah, I think we could see some Gaunt spam. I
Or a
think
Black Tide.
Black Tide would be interesting. People have like almost 100% shied away from that now.
It's really
Um,
expensive.
Green Tide is very possible. Um,
Yeah.
I think there's a possibility, and this is like pure speculation, maybe hot take. The We've talked about it before, but the Nurgle detachment for demons might actually be really good right now.
Fascinating. Why is that?
If you lean into bodies and you bring plague marines, or not plague marines, Jesus, plague bearers, and then obviously you have your great unclean ones, which just great unclean ones and Rodigus are the for their points cost and their defensive profile. They are, I mean, point for point, they're the toughest thing in the game. Um, and you're putting 3, maybe 4 of them on a table, and it's even for knights, it's going to take quite a bit for you to take those things down. And then you're also looking at, if you build it, probably, because people have been, from what I've seen, people are running a bunch of flies, which are good. Flies are good, but I think if you kind of pull back a little bit on the flies and push more into plague bearers, and if you're putting 40, 50 plague bearers on the table
Mm-hmm.
with 3 or 4 great unclean ones, I think there might be something there.
You know, thinking about it now, I think demons probably have one of the better games into the meta if you were to think about it, just because 4-up and vulns are gross, number one.
Mm-hmm.
And your whole army has them. Sure, you have a few 5-ups here and there, but then you also have 18 screamers.
Yeah, screamers are good.
And screamers going into gigantic knights actually sounds hilarious with all their anti-monster vehicle 2-ups, right?
4.
Sure, 4-ups, whatever. So you're locking things up. You just run MSU Shadow Legion with a Fade Thirster.
I
That
do think that
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 build
is.
probably does great.
I do think that is very good. If I had 18 screamers, then maybe I would do it, but I don't. I have 9, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe 12.
And you can, and most games can get away with 9, but like right now I think you want 18.
Yeah, I think 18 is pretty hot. Because your Faith Thirster's still like, he's going to pick a knight up.
Every time?
And then he's going to pick himself up, which means he doesn't die. So you've got another chance. You just have to be able to make your, your deep strike charges, or you're spending your CP on rapid ingressing
Well, yeah.
in a place where you can't be shot. So there is going to be a lot of technical play in that list now that there wasn't before. But yeah, I mean the Faithers are still fantastic. So,
but he's so fast that like you just rapid every round, and he'll
yeah, because
almost
you still have
guaranteed
you're
pick up
still
4.
Corn, so you have advance in charge because
Yep.
he's still a Corn demon. So,
Yep.
move 12, advance in charge. You just need to rapid ingress in a place where you can't get shot, and then you can go kill a knight.
Be'lakor, Bloodthirster, garbage, and you could probably have a great time in this meta. I think the thing that just like gets in your way, of course, is just going to be Death Guard, because Death Guard's pretty good at killing your stuff.
Yeah, you're gonna run into a handful, I think, that are really just going to be a pretty huge problem if that's the way that you build. Some that we have on this list, I think specifically, we'll just I'm going to jump forward just a smidgen. I think that list probably deals with GSC just fine. I don't think they're like super duper worried about that. Your Bloodthirster has a flamer, the Be'lakor has 18 shots, and your Screamers can do Screamer things.
Yeah,
some of
because
your
you could just
trash
choke
is
the board with all your
some
stuff.
of your trash is a number of flamers. So, but like Blood Angels would be very, very hard to deal with. Sanguinary Guard are just too cheap. Not for the game, they're too cheap for that matchup. Chaos Space Marines, yeah, fair. Like, so Wyatt's list just murders Shadow Legion.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
and Necrons, like Necron, there's not. You just can't kill. You can't trade well enough.
Yeah. So, okay, let's jump into what we believe are going to be top 8 armies so far. Both Knights.
Yep.
Death Guard.
Yep.
Genestealer Cult. I think Genestealer Cult have a big
show. The thing that's going to stop GSC from being in the top 8 is who plays them. Because there's a ton of skill expression that is required in that army.
I wonder if Floof is going to come up because he's really good.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Who knows? Okay. So I think Blood Angels are going to have a pretty good tournament because they're so cheap. And if you don't know how to deal with a melee pressure army, you're going to have a really hard time.
Mm-hmm.
I know I have an extremely hard time every time I play Blood Angels, just because I generally want to run at you too. And they're just better at running at you than I am.
Yeah.
Because they have more invulns.
Yep.
Sure, T4 is great, but it doesn't matter when you pass your 4-ups.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? So I think Blood Angels are going to have a really good tournament. It will be interesting to see how good Space Wolves do, though. I'm actually curious about that because Thunderwolf Cav are still amazing. And 3 sets of 3,
yeah,
incredible. Incredible point efficiency.
I mean, Head Takers are great. Wolfen are very good. I think that they're going to have a fantastic. I think they're going to have a great tournament. I'm not sure that they bump into top 8, but I think they'll definitely exist more than once in the top bracket.
Yeah, you might get one player up there just because not everyone's going to know. Because they're more or less going to be a new army by the time Tacoma hits, because they release on the 10th. So
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, between Blood Angels and Space Wolves, we'll see. Obviously, Marines are good in general. Like Gladius is still good. +1 to wound is an awesome thing. So, and depending on who shows up, we might have one. We'll see.
Right.
But speaking of Chaos Space Marines, as you were bringing up before, Wyatt's list, or that the list along that line, and for those of you curious, that is Vashdor with 2 to 3 Lord Discos, with Vindicators, Predators, and then any mix of stuff from there that you want to play with. And boy, howdy, is it good. I think that depending on who's piloting that list, like if somebody shows up, one of these top 100 players shows up with that list, I think they win the tournament, personally.
Interesting.
Because there's nothing that it bounces off of. It plays well into Death Guard. It plays well into every night matchup. It has a volume of mortals associated with it.
Does it play well into what? Does it play well into Death Guard?
Yeah, so he runs warp spiders, and so it's just a bunch of
You,
T9
you
stuff that
mean
does a
Venom
million
crawlers?
damage. Venom crawlers. So a bunch of T9 dudes that deal like a pile of 2 damage weapons.
Right.
And as long as you have a bunch of 2 damage weapons, you can kill Death Guard.
That's fair. Fair
So
enough.
yeah,
Yeah.
it has answers into everything. I think if the right pilot shows up with that army, that they're going to have a great time. Because I'm not sure what beats that right now. Whether it's Renegade Raiders or Pact Bound, there's a lot of different ways to play it.
And both of them are good. Both
yeah.
of them are good options.
Super solid. So I'm curious to see how that one goes. I consider that a top, honestly, like 4 list in the meta. Period. End of story. So, and then I think the big left hook that are going to come out and catch a lot of people is World Eaters.
Okay. Yeah.
What was that for? What are you doing with your?
I was counting. So World Eaters makes 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
World Eaters. World Eaters. Berserker Warband. We talked about this a little bit last week.
Mm-hmm.
That is a really good army.
Yeah.
Like with the new rules, new data sheets, just absurd.
It is, yeah. And I think it's one of the interesting ones where I'm not, and it's just I just don't have the data. Maybe I'm not sure how good it is into Knights specifically, but you don't necessarily have to be great into Knights to make it to top 8 army. You just need to be, because you can dodge them in the first 4 rounds and be great. But you can also lose your Knight matchup and beat everyone else and end up there. So
but they kill Knights. Like I don't think they have an issue killing Knights just because they have so many lethal, they can go lethal sustained.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have 20 Zerkers attacking you with a Karn, that'll drop a Knight.
That's fair.
So
that's fair.
There are a bunch of missile units. Like if you let 8-bound get in on a Knight, they're gonna take that thing down to half at least.
Their Demon Prince can kill a Knight too.
Demon Prince, not to mention like just the sheer strength that that their Forge Fiends have. Like they're wounding on 5s, but when you roll that many dice, like who cares?
Yep. You've got 3 of them, so go for it.
It's fast army. Their spawn are really, really good.
Their spawn are very good. I think they have the best spawn.
They do. I firmly believe that. Just they're in your deployment zone round 1. You're like, okay.
Yep.
So World Eaters are sneaky. I think because it's such a popular faction that I just expect that there to be a fairly healthy player population.
There will be. The question left after that is how many is anyone in the healthy player population a top 8 player?
That's true. Pilot means, the most of it, of course. Lists are one thing, factions are one thing. Pilot is almost always the defining factor. Okay, and then my final pick for a top 8 army is going to be the most consistent army in 10th edition, Necrons. I call them the eternal assholes.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what you do, they're always here. Any player can bring, what is it? The teleporty one and do fine. And have a game into literally everyone in the tournament just because you could score so well.
Yep.
Or you got people running around with that Star Shatter build that is cancer to the face, where you have the Silent King who ignores all mods, where you have 2 DDAs, where you have Wraithbrick with Cryptothralls, Technomancer giving the -1 damage ability, a couple of dudes who respawn stuff, and then just some random stuff to score points. Like it takes all of the things that you've hated about Necrons All Edition and jams them into one list.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
So I think Necrons are scary good. They haven't been like, they'll get a nerf, but like they're just another one of those factions where all of the detachments are good.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that takes us to what I believe, at least of the top 8. Do you have any mentions that you think?
So I'm going to throw one in as a potential replacement for GSC because I think the same is true that 100 GSC players can be there, but if there isn't the right GSC player, it's not going to matter.
Fair enough.
So I'm going to throw an army that sits much in the same place, and I'm going to say Tau.
Oh, good point. I should have thought of Tau.
So Kalyan, just classic Tau, played by, the best of the Tau players, the top, top 10 in the world Tau players. That just doesn't care about Knights.
You're right.
So
and they have a game in Death Guard.
They do.
But
so
that's really layout dependent.
Yes. And again, it's very player dependent that if the right player doesn't show up, it's not going to matter. So,
yeah. When we were at the tournament in Ellensburg, when I was talking to Tim, he's just like, if I was going to lose a game, it was going to be against Donald in the first 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
But he played Donald Plummer in like round 4 or something like that. Round 4 or something. And then it was because we had switched to layout 8. He was like, I had no worries after that. So,
Yep.
Okay. No, that's a good ad. I think switching it out with GSC is a good
Yeah, I think it's they both deserve a spot. I think it's one of them, and it depends on if one of their great players shows up.
It's true. Okay. So, let's talk about your list a little again. So, what are you bringing, and how do you expect to play into these armies?
Yeah. Okay. So I have we're gonna say settled. That's as settled as I can be. On 5 big knights.
Okay.
So we've got 3 abominants because they're great and they're
Immortals,
cheap.
baby.
It's it's Chaos Knights. It's Lords of Dread because that attachment's insane.
Yeah. Hey, sticky is a great thing.
Yeah. So it's 3 abominants. It's a despoiler with double Gatling cannon. So 36 Gatling cannon shots. And then a rampager for punching big targets in the face.
For the lulz?
For the lulz. Well, I mean, I do think they're very good.
They're strong, yeah.
And then we have 3 Nurglings and our boy Rodigus. So I do still have 6 big things. It's just one of them is not a knight.
Okay.
By keyword. He is by defensive profile.
Yes. So, Rodigus is a fun choice. Why bring Rodigus?
So going back to bringing up the Nurgle detachment, he is the toughest thing that you can get for that points cost. And so I think in 9.5 out of 10 matchups, you throw Rodigus in the middle, and whatever your opponent peeks out to try to kill him, if they even do, but whatever your opponent peeks out to try and kill him, any knight that you want can step around the corner and kill them.
Fair enough.
So you go, here's Rodigus, and people go, and they try and deal with it, and then by trying to deal with it, they expose themselves, and the knights pick up everything else. Two of the abominants have enhancements, and then the despoiler has an enhancement. So the despoiler is the deep strike once per game up downy.
Oh, okay.
So on my, on the shooting night, sightlines become less of a problem because I'll just pick them up if I need to. But even if you don't, I think there's going to be probably out of these 8 games, I'm expecting at least 3 of them where I don't pick him up at all. But just having that threat makes your opponent play the game just fundamentally different because they have to.
Yeah.
I think it makes people play a lot slower, which just allows me to get all of my primary and proceed to win the game.
Okay, so slow push, set the trap with Rodigus, and Nurglings eventually go somewhere to do a thing.
Probably. Honestly, like Nurglings are there because you can't take a 4th enhancement. They're also there because they have to be. They're battle line.
For Rodigus, right?
Yeah, you have to take a battle line to take Rodigus, so it's the cheapest way to get him.
Understood. Okay, cool. So how do you feel into other knights?
Into other knights, I feel pretty good. The Gatling cannon, the only thing that I wish I really had is if I could change the third abominant, the one that doesn't have an enhancement. I would change to another despoiler and be double thermal cannon.
Not one of each in each one.
No,
Okay.
I don't like jack of all trading units.
Okay.
But the double thermal cannon for the mirror match, because I don't own an Atropo. But that is 10 points over, which means I would have to drop the uppy downy enhancement, and that doesn't feel worth it.
Fair enough.
I have the Strat Titanic Duel, which lets me reroll all hits and wounds against another Titan. So the 36 Gatling cannon shots actually can pick up another knight.
Fascinating. Are they 2 damage?
They are.
Oh, okay.
So, and with rerolling all hits and wounds.
Okay.
For 1 CP, they're pretty wild. That, and then mortal wounds. Rodriguez's damage profile is not nothing, so he can do some stuff, and that's pretty much where it sits.
Okay.
I think
Rampager drops a knight.
Yeah, Rampager picks up a knight.
And then your Abominants
Despoiler can pick up a knight. Abominants just play the game.
Yep.
So I think it's, no matter what, like the mirror match is not easy, but it is definitely the tools to play it exist, not as well as I would like. Obviously, double thermal cannon would pick up one every single time, or an Atropo will pick up one, but I don't have those and don't really have the points for it either. So that's just kind of where we are.
How about IK?
Yeah, it's kind of the same problem, right? Where it's I'm gonna put the same shots into the same places, and I'm gonna hope that they don't roll like Cody and
Fucking
make
Cody.
90% of their 6-up feel no pains.
How dare him?
If they don't do that, then I think we've got a game. So
I suppose you're right.
We'll see.
So into Knights, you have an interesting matchup. It's very coin flippy.
Yeah.
What about Death Guard? Have you had a chance to play into them with Knights at all yet?
I have not had a chance yet. In theory, you're like, with your 3 abominants, your mortal wounds are going to do, I mean, they're going to do work in every matchup, but I think in Death Guard in particular, they're looking to do a significant amount of work. And then
that double chain cannon seems real fascinating into Death Guard.
Yeah, the double cannon is going to pick up pretty much whatever infantry squad he looks at. So
cool.
Yeah,
that'll be fun. Well, I guess that we'll see how it turns out. I think that one just depends on layout. If you get one where they can hide, good luck.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you have the tools of playing the GSC, and then it's Blood Angels are just another Marine matchup. Are you worried at all about them getting in on you?
Yes and no, right? So I've got the Rampager, which can pick up any squad that they put into melee. And then one of the abominants has his enhancement is the assault and once per game fight first, and they're not super great in melee, but having fight first on the knight that I put out in the front and go, hey, do you want to charge me? And getting to pick up, 2 or 3 Marines and then myself live and then crack back with a Rampager, like it feels good.
Okay.
So
it probably helps that you know the matchup pretty well. But what about going into Tau?
Yeah, that one's tough. That one is yeah, if I those players are rare, but the quintessential phenomenal Kauyan super patient player, that's terrifying. There's not many of them, so the hope is that I don't get them in the first 4 rounds, and then I'll never see them because I'm not going to be in the same place that they'll be. So that's okay.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Just because the good Kauyan players, if they exist, will be at the event.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. What about playing into the Renegade Raider list or the Pact Bound list with all those Vindicators, Vastor, and Discos?
Yeah. It's another one that's tough. It is, again, I think it's very layout dependent.
Mm-hmm.
I do think like small horn toot. I think my list is different enough from the other like 6 big knight lists that are running around that I think mine is equipped a little bit differently to be able to handle that.
Okay.
I have to play it exceptionally carefully, which is different than I think every other game will get played.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
weird.
That'll be a fun one. I'm excited. I'm excited to see if you get to play into something like that. I don't think that list has caught enough steam for it to like to be a major threat at this event. I know Wyatt's playing it. Wyatt, bless his soul, is not a top 100 player in the world, but you get a top 100 player on that list, that'll be really fascinating.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not a top 100 player, so
true.
If I get a top 100 player on almost anything, then it's unfortunate, and we'll see you maybe in bracket 2.
Dude, punching up into a like top 100 player is really hard.
It is, yeah.
It is brutal, man. Okay, all right. So what about world eaters? Do you think you just kind of run that match over? Have you not played it enough to really know?
I think I kind of do just run that matchup over because it's the same problem, right? Where it's the same as the Blood Angels thing, where you go, Rodigus is in the middle, the Fights First Abominant is behind him, and the Rampager is behind that, waiting to counter. And so if they kill Rodigus and then they charge the dude with Fight First, he picks up a couple of them. They hopefully don't kill him. If they kill him, they got hurt significantly first, and then the Rampager comes in and picks up the rest of them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Because the Rampager is a big sweep, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they have a 4-up fight on death for free, or just from the dice. So
yeah, it's still a 4-up. You know,
it's true.
Yeah,
I think I just but
I'm also
PTSD from Josiah and his dice.
That's fair. I'm also I have zero interest in fighting a full strength unit.
Yeah,
I
it's
will be
unlikely
shooting them
that
first.
you do.
Yeah,
it's unlikely that. I mean, in all honesty, because you just kind of park your pulse of mortals to everybody in the middle of the board, and that's fine. I think you have certainly have the edge in that matchup, but if they're good enough and get you,
yeah, I will say I think run that matchup is probably incorrect.
Yeah.
I think I win that matchup. It's not a walk away, but
right.
I think I'm okay.
Okay, sounds good. All right. How about going into Necrons? What do you feel about going into DDAs plus Silent King?
Yeah, so it's DDAs plus Silent King, right? So they, if they play it properly and they put both DDAs in range of the Silent King to ignore the modifiers, then it gets interesting. But two separate DDAs aren't theoretically are. If I play it correctly, 2 separate DDAs will never get a line on more than one knight. And if they get a line on one knight, another knight will be able to step out and theoretically at least pick up one of them. And as soon as there's only one, if I can kill one, then that matchup becomes significantly easier.
Do you think you can kill a Wraithbrick?
It's tough.
Without,
it really is.
Screwing your whole army by putting in all of it into it?
I'm not sure. I think I have to roll really well on mortals. I think I have to roll pretty high on that, and then I think
it just depends on the chain cannons. Like, how many do you actually get through?
How many do I get through? How many? And then it's 4-ups, right? How many 4-ups do they make? I think if we were to break it down on, like, if we looked at pure averages, then I probably pick it up. But it takes a lot. It takes most, right? I mean, I think it takes the mortals from all 3 and then the despoiler shooting should be able to pick them up, but we're talking about averages, and that's not really how it works.
So. That's true. Yeah, they're like it's a brick you just have to ignore because they're not going to kill your knight, but they will own a point forever.
Maybe.
I mean, they're all 2 OC.
Yeah. They won't own a point from a big knight, right?
2
So if
OC
Rodriguez is alive, they won't.
control.
If Rodriguez is alive, they won't do it.
Sure.
But yeah,
Right. Okay.
it's tough.
Yeah, I imagine so. So yeah. So your thoughts? Do you think this gets you 6-2?
I think it has a significantly better chance of getting me 6-2 than Drukari does in the current standing. I hope it does, right? I do. I hope it does. I went 5-3 at the Dallas last year, so I've done 5-3 at a GW event before, so I'm hoping 6-2 would be pretty sick. And then, so I would say my goal is 6-2 or make it into the top bracket, which means that I have to win my first 4 games, and after that, nothing matters.
Gotcha.
So
I just looked at looked at Meta Monday, and Lords of Dread over the weekend had a 68% win rate.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
That feels.
It's
gross.
the only time. I think it's absolutely insane. I was talking to Dale about it today. Sticky with OC5 is a stratagem. And then, so obviously it's only in that detachment. But the rules of that detachment let you use that strat again for 0. Which is insane.
That's
like
dumb.
that should be an enhancement. But it's part of the detachment.
Boy, that is bad.
It's wild. I'm also interested in how because they have the Vect enhancement, and I'm interested in how GW rules it.
What do you mean?
So if you look at like the core rules FAQ and everything for the Vect abilities, it says all abilities that do whatever are now X, right? So they're all supposed to be an aura and make things just more expensive within the aura. That's not how the Chaos Knight one is worded, and you also go based off of the newest document.
So how is the Chaos Knight worded?
The Chaos Knight one is once per battle. If your knight is on the battlefield, when your opponent uses a stratagem, it makes it more expensive the next time that they use it.
Period. So it's just the next time they use it, not all the times?
Well, that's how all of them were worded, right? So it's let's see. All right, so once per battle round, you can target the bearer's. No, that's yeah. You can target the bearer's unit for a command reroll stratagem for 0 CP, and you can do so even if you've already targeted the stratagem this phase. Whatever. In addition, once per battle, just after your opponent uses a stratagem, if the bearer is on the battlefield, they can use this enhancement. If it does, until the end of the battle, the CP cost your opponent must pay to use that strat again is increased by 1.
Okay, so it is so you just get to pick a strat and say that's going to cost you 2 or 3 CP now.
Yes.
Wow, that seems.
That is how it is currently worded, and it is the newest of the documents. So technically, the rule saying all, like the rule FAQ saying.
No. I think you're confusing the documents. Documents in terms of FAQs, not documents in terms of fucking rules on a data sheet.
No, because this is
It is the printing of that rule, of that specific individual use case, not the Vect aura as a whole, because unorthodox strategist was worded based on an aura
originally.
Still,
but like the Drukari one was not.
Right, and they nerfed the Drukari one specifically, but it did not impact the rest of the game. It only impacted Drukari.
But it did, because it changed it. They changed the rule completely. Because it used to be, if you were on the battlefield, then you could make a strat more expensive, and then now it's an aura.
It will depend on the wording of the rule on the data sheet. That's how that should work.
Right. Which is what I just read.
Right. So in that specific circumstance, yes, but that shouldn't be the case for Uriel, who's a 12-inch aura.
Right, because his rule specifically states that he's an aura.
Correct.
But this one says, yeah. This is the rule. If a model has a rule that would, once per battle, increase the CP cost of an opponent's strat, that rule is replaced with the following ability. Which is the Lord of Deceit 12-inch aura.
Okay. So
So
then they
is
just
that
have the Lord of
enhancement?
defeat them.
Okay, so that enhancement is a 12-inch aura and not what it actually says it is.
It seems like it if it's based off of the if that's what the FAQ says.
Right, and that's what I like. That's just the weird part of There's like a little bit of debate about it along around the internet, and so I'm interested to see what they think or what GW actually rules.
I'm surprised there hasn't been a ruling on it yet. I feel like that's important.
It is. It is actually really important.
I'll take a look at like the Green Banner judge to see what they're saying. Obviously, that doesn't mean anything for GW events, but
Sure.
If there's a modification to CP cost, it should just be a 12-inch aura. Like it should just be like the Space Marine,
because that is
version of it.
Just the core. That is current. Like that is the core rule in the stratagem's ability.
Yeah.
So theoretically, yes, that's what it should be, but that is not how it's worded, and this codex was printed far after that ability was made.
So you mean the rules writing team did a terrible fucking job of writing a rule again without talking to the balance team?
Correct.
What?
But that means that it needs to be addressed.
God, I hate their inability to fucking talk to each other. Just
it's wild.
Run it by them before you send it to print.
Just a quick, hey, what do we think?
Yeah, like, you know what? Here's the book, guys. Just please vet it for us before we push submit. Assholes. All right. I need to move past this now. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just interested to see, hopefully they rule it that it is an aura, because that's what it should be.
Should be. And that's a stratagem aura?
It's an enhancement.
It's an enhancement. Yeah, if it's an enhancement, it should be an aura. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the list that I've fever dreamed up shortly after our conversation last week. I'm bringing probably Ultramarines because +1 to wound is juicy. Especially in a meta full of strength T9 and T11 crap. First and foremost, we've got the Lieutenant with Combi Weapon because he is the all-star. The one, the only lone operative. I could bring two. I only want to bring one. Marnie's Calgar and Reboot Gilliman. I know that it's people are like, oh no, you bring one or the other. No. They're still really good. You could bring
I think
both.
They're still good. Doesn't matter. You can bring them both.
They're less expensive now. Sure, you don't get the CP farm of the century. That's fine. But I do
you still get some.
I still get a free CP once per battle round now with Gilliman, and that's enough for a really good Space Marine detachment, either Stormlance or Gladius. Still trying to figure that out. But the remainder of the list, 2 Ballistic Dreadnoughts, because they're nice to have. I think they're good. 2 sets of Centurion Assault Squads. 2 sets of 3. We'll talk about that in a second. A 6-man of Centurion Devastators, because you got to kill knights, right?
That's a lot of big boys.
A lot of thick-ass boys. Some company heroes to hang out with Calgar, because what else would you bring? An Infiltrator Squad to babysit the house. A Predator Destructor, because there's a lot of infantry out there. With the actual like heavy bolters on it and not las cannons. They have enough anti-tank in this list.
Yeah.
So that this is just an infantry killing machine. In the night matchup, it'll score a point.
Sure. Hey, sometimes that's what they do.
Yeah, and then 2 scouts.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I intend to run. So
how do you? Obviously, we know how you. I mean, I say obviously, it's pretty obvious how you intend on dealing with knights. You probably have the output for GSC, right? Because you've got heavy bolters out the ass.
The Predator Destructor heavy bolter, like that guy just shooting, picks up a lot of chaff. And then the other bit of shooting that just picks up tons of chaff is the Sendevs. Yeah. Because of the missiles. Because then if I'm shooting at bricks of 20, it's 63 plus 20 or 24, right? 6 times 4. So that's pretty good volume shot at strength 9.
And you've got tons of damage 2 plus shooting for Death Guard.
Yep.
So
I mean, it's not.
what?
I'd say it's fairly light, only because of the destructor. Like, if the destructor goes down, like,
That's fair.
then it's like
Um,
I got to get lucky with everything else.
so what's, I guess for Necrons, your cynical heart just cries.
Necrons, the game is I have to jail.
Okay, so go first in jail.
Go first in jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about these CSMs?
I think I have games into CSM just because I have a ton of damage 3
Mm-hmm.
with the Centurion assault squads.
Yeah,
Like,
and they are, so it's the same. I guess it's the same options that you have that are going to kill knights, except the CSM toughness is lower.
yeah, exactly. So the big gas behind this the ascents is that they all have 3 attacks. Number 1,
Mm-hmm.
into vehicles, monsters, and structures. They're sustained 2. They're hitting on 3s. They're strength 10. So normally wounding on 5s, and they are twin linked. So with +1 to wound, that
Okay.
averages about 8 wounds to be put
Yeah. So
through into something.
if yeah, as long as you get there, you're killing it.
Yeah. So, and that's gonna take down most big knights.
Mm-hmm.
At least a good chunk of like, because if you combine shooting, charging, fighting, a group of assault centurions should kill a big knight, and that's just 3
Mm-hmm.
units. It's 150 points. I think it's incredibly efficient. Um, and then a group of 6 Sendevs should kill a knight almost every time with +1 to wound. The destructor won't do anything in the knights, but I also have a Gilliman
Mm-hmm.
who should clean up a knight by himself.
Hopefully, yeah.
I mean, it'll be close, but as long as I go into, like, let's say I, run into a rampager and I fight first, that rampager is dead
Mm-hmm.
because you don't get a save,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s, 7 attacks at 4 damage per attack.
Right. Which
So I could drop 1.
28. So you could. You actually need no. You can't drop 1 because that's only 24, and they have 26 wounds. So you have to hit
Yeah.
and wound with everything.
But if I'm running into a knight at full wounds after a shooting phase of Space Marines, what the hell am I doing?
No, that's fair. Probably just trying to win harder, honestly.
At that point, yeah.
So
I have options for the big stuff. I don't know if I have enough volume to handle the little guys. I think my biggest weakness is T-Suns because I don't have
Okay.
any anti-mortals.
That's fair. It is
Like-
also the first time we've brought them up. So
Yeah, and they're going to be popular. I don't think they are a top tier faction in the current meta, just because there's so much fighty stuff. Because as long as you get on top of Grand Coven, good luck.
Yeah.
So, and that's just,
that's
I
fair.
have an army that kind of runs at you. Am I slow? Yes. Very slow. But I can full send a Calgar brick. He'll die. But then right behind him, I have two sets of assault centurions who can pick up all of the big tentacle idiots.
Yeah.
Really easily, in fact, just because they have so few wounds. Like, once the math is under 24 wounds, it's just like, oh, this ain't so bad at all. Like, the 3 assault centurions pick up baby knights in their sleep, and there's going to be plenty of people running those. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be really excited to go 5-3. I think is the best way I can put it. I think this is going to catch people off guard because they're going to be like, wait, what is that? Why do you have that? What are those?
Right.
I've never seen those on the table before. So that's always fun.
There is a I think there is a section like to be there's space for that being a strategy of just people not knowing what something does, and then they either overcommit into it or they don't think it can do what it can do and they ignore it and it gets to do more than it ever should. And so it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't have a great delivery system outside of like a rapid ingress hopefully not in range of something that can see it, and then just advance and charge into something.
Mm-hmm.
I do think I really have to make a call on whether it's Gladius or Stormlance. Both of them are great.
Mm-hmm.
With the amount of shooting I have, I feel like Stormlance, it kind of puts me in that field of wanting to do that.
Right.
But it really limits the 300 points of like really just charge and fight stuff I have.
Yeah.
But again, I just have so much more options with Gladius that it probably makes the most sense.
Right. That's fair. Yeah, because Gladius doesn't like. You're not going to get stuck into any weird matchups because you chose Gladius, where like that could happen with
Stormlance is a
Stormlights.
little bit
So
easier to dance around for the most part.
yeah.
I don't have any mounted in the list, so but that's kind of where I'm leaning. It's fun in that it's not a huge footprint. It's a bunch of chunky infantry for the most part
Yeah.
that are not hard to hide. So that's the biggest benefit that I see to a list like this one. The fact that most people are going to be like Centurions, and then they're going to die to them, and they're going to be like,
Yeah.
wait, how many wounds do they have? 2 up save? What?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, they are just a wildly tough unit. So
Yeah, I
which
mean,
I think like that's gonna serve you pretty well because people are either going to overcommit or undercommit pretty much every time.
every time.
So
Like it makes me want to try to like, well, maybe I do Wrath of the Rock with Centurions, but that +1 to wound is just so good.
+1 to wound is good. I mean, the Lion can equally pick up Knights.
That's true, but then he just dies. At least Gilliman gets
Maybe.
back up.
Maybe, but the Lion has a 3-up invul, so you just make your 3-ups and you're okay, right?
Yeah, that would require making your 3-ups, which
Yeah.
statistically you make.
Sure.
It doesn't feel that way. It
Well,
really
doesn't Gilliman stand back up on a 3-up too?
He does, but there's only have to do one of those.
Yeah, but that's the one you're going to fail though, right? Like that's So if we're looking at failing the 3-ups, then what's better from a damage standpoint, or a flexibility standpoint when we look at the Lion is one Lion or one Gilliman? Because that's if you're looking at failing your 3-ups, it doesn't matter.
I think that the 2 sets of Assault Centurions benefit more from the +1 to wound, not to mention the rest of the army benefit more from the +1 to wound than the army just being generally tougher and harder to deal with. Because Wrath of the Rock is legitimately fun. I love that detachment. I'm probably going to play it in RTTs a lot. But I think Ultramarine Gladius just kind of gives me the best opportunity to pull out more wins.
Right.
Especially with how chock full of Knights everything is going to be right now with double oath, because you pick 2 oaths, you're definitely going to shoot one down, and as long as you land the charge, you definitely kill the other Knight. So
that's fair.
Yeah, and then it's a fixed season because you just take it down in assassination.
Yeah,
and that's that.
That's that.
So yeah, overall, I'll be excited with a 5 and 3. I'll be elated with a 6 and 2, or anything even better than that. And I will expect a 4 and 4. I could go 2 and 6.
I guess.
I don't know. I don't think that happens, but
yeah,
it could happen. Right. So I guess we'll just have to see.
We will.
But I still get another week of, because lists aren't due until like the day before.
They are due Thursday night before the event on Friday morning.
Okay.
Because GW is weird.
They're just not great at things. Cool. They just want to get as many people in as they can, and so they're going to sell tickets until the final moment. Is their whole thing. Okay. Cool. So, I think that does it for me. Is there anything else you want to talk about today before we sign out?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, sorry if this is a boring episode for anybody. Like I said at the beginning, Tacoma Open is devouring everything about 40K for me at the moment. So that is kind of just where we are. Just really trying to keep my head in it and prepare.
Yep, it's the biggest event of the year for both of us, I think. So Well, I guess technically LVO was this year, but it's fine.
LVO was this year and will also be this year again.
Are you going again in October?
I am going again.
Oh, okay. I don't think
I
I'm
will be
going
going
this
in
year.
October. Yeah, I have my ticket, so I will be there, barring something happening.
Nice. All right. Well, with that, we'll definitely talk about those events as they come closer. I'm going to probably be spending a lot of time hobbying over the next several months. But let's get ready for Tacoma. Thank you all so much for being here. Again, I'm all day 40K on TikTok, and with me is Beddingfield Painting on Instagram. And if you guys want to hear more, please let us know what you want to hear about. Tell us in the comments. We'd appreciate that. Share it with your friends. We'd like to know if you think we're wrong.
Yeah.
And
if
we'll
you think we're
value
wrong,
your
or
opinion.
if there's something you want to hear our opinion on.
Yeah, let us know, and we'd be happy to tell you. But thank you all so much for being here at the Yop, and we'll see you the next time.
See you around.